Howdy all, I'm Adam the Renaissance Nerd, and this is the last of my Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man reviews. We are doing episodes 8, 9, and 10 in this one, I hope, very quick breakdown review because this show is, it's over, and I want nothing more to do with it. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste your time. This show is garbage. It is written by people who do not understand Spider-Man. They understand MCU Spider-Man. They don't understand real Spider-Man. And the final reveal of the origin of this Peter Parker's spider powers, it is the worst kind of writing imaginable. Okay? We're going to go into it. We're going to get through as quickly as possible. Episode 8, the post beat up from Scorpion. Essentially, Peter gets to cry a lot, gets to whine a lot. I'm not good enough. I can't be this. I can't be that. He'll get a pep talk from Norman, who essentially bastardizes with great power comes great responsibility. With great power comes great respect. And that motivates Peter to unleash his full strength, his full capabilities eventually. And he cries in front of May. He almost cries in front of Harry. It's a sad, sad goddamn thing. The only other thing of note is that Octavius gets busted by the cops because Norman tips him off, and Iron Man's going to show up to help bust him. That's when he gives up. And it's also to show off the octopus cybernetic tentacles. It's there to show that off, that he's going to be inspired by them at the end of the season. And that's it. That's the episode. Also, at the very end, we can hear, "Oh, there's a police car chase going on. You better go help." But Pete goes to Harry. "I don't have a suit anymore." But Harry says, "Hey, guess what? No, you do have a suit because just like in the MCU, you're gonna be handed everything." Yes, it will be the classic Spider-Man suit, the one and only Spider-Man suit that should ever be. Outside of symbiote Spider-Man. But you know what I'm saying. They're going to put it in there, and all the clappies just go, "Yay, the classic suit. It's as beautiful as I knew it would be." Doesn't matter. It's still handed to him. It's the MCU all over again. They've learned the wrong lessons. Peter Parker should be self-sufficient. He should not be being given things by others. And it's going to continue this way because at the end of the freaking season, Harry sets up a whole new company as a front to help support Peter and other bright young scientists. Bullshit. Right, so we're going to jump to the next episode now where it starts with Nico taking a walk down the street. And she's having a moment with Pearl. Remember, Pearl's still there. She's going to be here. Where, "Oh, we girls got to stick together, have girl time, blah, blah, blah." And then she hears a message that Peter left for her last episode, apologizing to her for keeping secrets. And then she's going to get caught in the fact that the whole car chase in the last episode we heard about at the end is Baby Tombstone and his crew trying to hijack all the Octavius tech being taken back to Oscorp, okay? So they're trying to jack it from the cops and this and that, only to run into a fight with the Scorpions. Meanwhile, as it's all going down, Nico's almost going to get hit by a truck until Peter swoops in and saves her. And in that moment, she's on board. We'll get back to Nico in a minute. So there's going to be a big fight. All the gangs, to which point where Big Don gets his ass beat by the Scorpion and then runs away like a little bitch. And then the Scorpion's going to be fighting Spider-Man. And in that moment, Baby Tombstone's looking around saying, "Oh my God, I got to help Spider-Man." So here we go. Tombstone is going to continue his life of crime with the gang, become the leader of the gang, not out of a sense to do bad, but to do good, everybody. So he's going to run into the van after the chick who's Scorpion's number 2 tries to kick his ass and is kicking his ass until one of the other dudes bulldozes her, allows her to get in there. And he's going to be rummaging around and he's going to drop a canister filled with gas and he's going to get gassed. It's the gas that will transform him into Tombstone. And for the rundown, for people who don't know, Tombstone's power set is essentially mega strength and invulnerability. That's Tombstone's power strength. Bingo. Well, it happens instantly, but he doesn't get the transformation yet. Because Tombstone is, when Tombstone, he's essentially whitish, bluish gray. You know, that's him. He's whitish, bluish, gray. Anyway, so then Pete's going to be fighting the Scorpion, and he's still going to be kind of afraid, little holding back. And at one point, he's going to get a moment of disadvantage, and Baby Tombstone's going to step in and take the blow, except now he's got invulnerability, and he breaks. And I'm going to start calling him Dime Store Scorpion's tail. This is Dime Store Scorpion because, as I've been pointing out since the last time, all he's got is a vest, a bionic tail, a helmet, some fitty gloves, and some booties with a little bit of knee pad. That's all he's got. Otherwise, he's got nothing. He's got no acid, no poison, no hallucinogenic stuff. He's not the Scorpion. He's Dime Store Scorpion, okay? So Dime Store Scorpion's tail breaks up against Tombstone's chest, and then Tombstone and Spider-Man fight together because Spider-Man's talk earlier that you're better than this, Lonnie. Well, he took it to heart, so they're going to fight together, and they're going to beat Tombstone. They're going to beat Scorpion, until Scorpion keeps getting back up because of his bionic tail. Dime Store Scorpion drops a payload of steel beams and concrete onto Tombstone. And then in that moment, Peter thinks, oh no, my friend is dead. I'm not going to hold back anymore because Mr. Osborn's words, with great power comes great respect, triggers his ability to be awesome now, except sort of not, because they don't understand that Peter giving no F's is a slow buildup over real storylines. But no, one little speech from Norman, Lonnie apparently dead, and then Peter suddenly owns the Dime Store Scorpion, okay? Owns him completely and starts to beat the shit out of him. And I've seen commentary, oh man, this is so hard. He's punching him. He's gonna do what Tom Holland wanted to do to Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin in the movie. He's going to do that, only then Tombstone stops him and says, this is not the hero you need to be. You're better than this, Spider-Man. So let's review. They beat the crap out of him. It's done. And Peter, once again, doesn't really win a victory. Yes, he did beat the Scorpion, but he needed help to get to that point. He doesn't evolve on his own. He should be influenced by one thing and one thing only. With great power comes great responsibility. But he's not. He's not. So then everybody's going to run away because here come the cops. And then we're going to have a moment with Nico and Peter where Nico apologizes. And now you have to say, well, Adam, look at that. She's owning up that she shouldn't have been such a bitch to him. Fine. They did that. They got to that point where she admits she's been wrong. But you know what? You didn't need literally 8 episodes of her being an insufferable bitch to get there. She could have been just a wondering, gee, I wonder what's going on with Peter the whole time. Didn't have to make her an insufferable bitch. Didn't have to get her there. That's not a plot arc. That's not a character development arc. That's just bad writing because they have to make her a girl boss. All right? Plain and simple. So now she's on board Team Spider-Man, and we're going to jump to the next episode where now everything comes together. And there's really one thing you have to understand in this episode. The abomination of how Peter Parker becomes Spider-Man. We have Norman culminating in all the scientific stuff that came from everything that he's had the interns doing with his own research, all right? Now, during Peter's recovery, I spotted them taking his blood, and I thought, oh, that's not going to be good. And we get a shot that Norman is trying to replicate the Spider-Man genome, essentially, everything that makes Peter Peter. And at one point, you see him literally injecting the blood into the same spider that bites Peter at the beginning of this whole goddamn mess. And I thought, gee, that's a little odd. Did they capture the same spider as the same species? But I put it out of my head. So after we have Peter arrive at school late and barely get done with a science project where him and Pearl, who calls him Peter now because she's going to be the love interest, along with this other dumb chick who apparently saves the day on their science thing, whatever, he's then going to be summoned back to Oscorp, and everybody's going to be taken to a special room where it turns out that everything that Norman had all of them working on was to create a wormhole. a Stargate, for lack of a better term, okay? He's creating a Stargate, and he's going to open it up. Problem is, before he does it, Doctor Strange appears. And I'm thinking, wow, did the Doctor Strange from the multiverse appear? No, it's the same one we saw in the beginning of the season. And he says, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know about this whole destruction of the Midtown Special Genius School. Well, problem is, Norman ignores him, turns on the machine, and the same symbiote beast that happened in the beginning comes out. And him and Strange start fighting, and then Peter goes and gets his suit, and they start fighting. After you also had Norman giving this grand speech about how superpowered people need to be taken down from their moral high ground, and normal people need to have power. Bunch of bullshit, bullcrap. Anyway, so fight breaks out, and then as Peter gets knocked around, he gets sent through a wall to where the experiments on animals and the spider were happening, and the spider escapes, and it's starting to come together as I'm watching this. Son of a bitch. Eye of Agamotto, Time Stone. Strange is going to accidentally travel back in time, and he does, while fighting the beast, while Peter has to put the machine back together to send Symbiote Beast back to where they pulled him out of deep space. So, essentially, what happens is I was all wrong in my first assessment in the opening review. I have to admit that, because here's the reveal. It's not a multiversal thing. It's a time travel thing, because the spider fell through the portal and bit Peter to give him his powers. Now, let's take a moment. We're going to put everything. Yeah, they shove Symbiote Beast way back in, and as I predict as it's happening, a little piece of the symbiote falls off and is there. But let's now focus on this whole thing right here. This Peter is essentially a grandfather paradox. He creates himself. This is the worst kind of writing imaginable. And the clapping seal retard Disney MCU stans are going, oh, it's so great, it's so great. No, this is terrible. It's a circular thing. It means it's always going to happen. He only exists because he gave his blood, Norman took his blood, injected it into the spider, which goes through the portal to bite him to create the DNA, which they're going to draw later, and inject again into the spider, who's going to go through the portal and bite him again, and it's going to keep happening. Do you realize how bad this is? This is terrible. This isn't good, but they think this is brilliant writing. So Spider-Man creates himself to the whole point of the season is, I was always going to be Spider-Man. It was my destiny. Because he has a big talk with Strange at the end about, oh, you're great. You're ready for your trials. You're Spider-Man. This is terrible. This is the worst kind of creativity you can possibly think of, because it's so basic. It's so basic. There's no real depth. There's no ingenuity. At least if it was a multiversal spider, that's dumb, but at least the spider was created someplace and came there. No, he creates it himself. I hate this. This is terrible. It's dumb. And then the last thing we see are basically everybody setting up for their future things. Octavius is inspired to make himself Doc Ock when he's going to break out of prison, most likely. Harry's gonna make the little fake industry company thing I mentioned at the beginning so that all the special scientists can do it. Amadeus Cho's not gonna take the acceptance. He's gonna go work for Oscorp. Norman's gonna find that little piece of the symbiote, so he's now gonna go down that line of making a Venom symbiote crap. Nico's gonna be getting in touch with her dead mom, showing up that she's keeping secrets from Peter for magic. And then Tombstone is now the leader of the gang, and you can see the transformation beginning on his hands. He's going to join Peter and Harry and Nico at that silly little company Harry's making, which is he's doing the gang shit still, but now he's going to be Tombstone and he's transforming. And then they top it all off with Manhand's May going to a prison to speak to Richard Parker, Peter's dad, which I don't even know where we're going with this, because in the real Spider-Man lore, Richard Parker was a spy and spent years in basically a Soviet black site because he was captured during the Cold War. That's where he is. He's not a criminal. He worked for the U.S. government. But in this one, he's a criminal, I guess. And he wants to talk to May about his boy. And there it is. We're done. It's over. And I'm done. I am out. This show is a waste of everybody's time. The fake fans in the stands, they can pretend with heretical blasphemy that this is a successor to Spectacular Spider-Man, which is a truly innovative, fun, adventurous take on Peter Parker as Spider-Man in high school. That is great. This is an abomination and should burn, but it's not going to burn. It's got 2 more seasons because no, they didn't renew it. They purchased probably 30 episodes and divided them each into 10 episode chunks. That's what they did. And I'm not sticking around for it. Y'all will have to make me do this. And that means make it worth my time, make it worth your time. Because this was not worth my time. It really wasn't. But I started it. I finished it. We're done. I'll see you guys at the next horrible thing I review. Until then, everybody, take it easy. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Check out my gaming channel at Renaissance Nerd Arcade and follow me on X Twitter under @TheRedNerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.